All right, welcome back to another episode with the Walker
Long
lads.
time no talk.
Yeah, it's been a little bit over a month, but we are back in time for the season. Most importantly,
Yeah.
week one has
Week
arrived
one starts today, Thursday night football,
literally today.
and they gave us a great game too.
Yeah, it should be a high scoring one. Excited for that. Good for. I have a lot of people. I was talking to Peter in fantasy. I'm sure a lot of people do because these are two kind of juggernaut offenses. So I'm hoping for a shootout. To be honest, high scoring
I
game.
mean, I'd like a shootout. I have a lot of fantasy guys going tonight, so a shootout I won't mind.
Uh,
Little spoiler, I think I, even Vegas, like everybody, I think, unless you're a Cowboys fan, you have Tampa Bay favored in this game. I really hope that's not the case. I don't want it to be like a predictable kind of season where it's just like Tampa Bay goes back and it's kind of like a repeat kind of season.
yeah,
So if
they're like seven and
Dallas can make it interesting.
they're like 7.5 point favorites, which is that's a ton.
Yeah,
But
that's what I'm saying. Everybody except for Cowboys fans.
I thought Dallas had a chance, and then Zach Martin went on the COVID list, and I do think Dallas defense is going to be better this year. But asking them to go week one of the new season with a couple of new pieces against this kind of offensive firepower, it's not going to work out well. Like
Well,
Tampa,
yeah, my thing is even I love what they did. Obviously, like the biggest thing they did was addressing their linebacker position in the draft in the offseason, right? So their front seven should be a little bit better, I think, mildly better. Um, and you got year two of Trevon Diggs, right?
hmm
You get year two of him, so he should be better. But I still don't know if I view him as a cornerback one, and I don't like whether it's their safeties, cornerback two, their nickel corner. I don't like their secondary as a whole. And when you go against Tampa, that's what you need to cover these receivers downfield.
yeah, I'm with you.
I know Gronk, not Gronk, Chris Godwin came up with I don't know if it was a quad thing on the injury report a few days ago, but he's good to go for week one. Yeah, so you're gonna have AB, Chris Godwin, Mike Evans out there.
Yeah,
OJ Howard is healthy. He'll be out there with Gronk. It's gonna be a hard offense to stop.
yeah. I'm going Tampa on this one. I think most people
Everybody's going
are.
Tampa, yeah.
I do think it'll be relatively high scoring. Like I said, I do. I'm gonna say I know the spread's 7.5. I'm actually gonna go like 37-27 bucks.
Okay, I don't even do I see the Cowboys scoring 27 points tonight?
Well,
I don't even know if I see the Cowboys scoring 27 because
we do have
again,
to take into account though, as good as Tampa's defense played during the playoffs, that wasn't their whole season last year as a whole. Like their
no, I
second
know.
still has questions. I do think they can stop Zeke to like not a great game, but like I think he'll only have like 50 rushing yards, if that. And then but stopping Cooper, Lamb, and Gallup's going to be tough even for them. And I don't know. I think they'll score. I don't see Dak having an issue scoring.
I see a lot of field goals for Dallas tonight. My thing is Tampa Bay had one of the best red zone defenses. Even if you're not a fan of their secondary, their red zone forget about the end of the season because the secondary played lights out at the end of the playoffs. But even like during the regular season, they were great in the red zone, right? Obviously, they brought everybody back. I just don't see. I see a lot of field goals tonight for Dallas. I don't see them executing in like inside the 20. And again, I believe in Dak. I think he's healthy. I know he had that shoulder injury, that baseball injury on like the medial part of his shoulder. Um, I think he'll be fine for the season. I don't think it's going to hold him back too much. Although I do think it is a thing that we have to monitor because in whether it's from Hard Knocks, I don't know if you guys have been watching Hard Knocks or not. Um, if you look at the way he's throwing the ball, it looked a little bit different compared to last year before his injury. And again, he might be a little bit rusty to start off the game. It's the first time he's seeing football in how many months, right? But compared to last year, just his whole career, I feel like I feel like I don't know if it was just again just off season work, and I don't know if it's for better or for worse. I'm not a QB coach, but his throwing motion mechanically is different. I don't know if it's because of the injury. I don't know if it's just something that he did naturally as working on his mechanics in the off season. He's coming in Hard Knocks. I saw more of like an upward motion, like he throws kind of over his head rather than like from his ear or from kind of the side. It's more over the head. So I don't know. again, not a QB coach. I don't know what difference that makes. I don't know if that's for better or for worse, but that is something I definitely noticed. It's not like a little thing. Like the throwing motion was clearly different than when I was watching this year.
Well, I didn't watch Hard Knocks, so I mean, that's interesting though. But
Okay. I
um,
haven't seen anybody talk about that, so maybe I'm delusional, but to me,
I thought
it's
he always.
clearly different.
Yeah, I'm trying to like recall Cowboys games I watched over the years. I didn't. He never threw sidearm back. I know he always threw it kind of high.
No, not sidearm like this, like a Mahomes kind of thing. I just mean like he had a not in a bad way. His throwing motion was more like ear level, right? Like
Yeah,
just an average kind of throwing motion. But I see it coming more over the top, like he brings his whole shoulder up kind of thing.
yeah. It's
So I guess we'll see tonight.
probably something to do with the shoulder, and maybe something to do with the ankle that he injured. Maybe I don't know. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe it's
Yeah,
something.
I have no idea what it is.
I don't know, but
I wish I
as
had an
long as he
answer
plays
for it.
good, I don't think anyone cares. Like if it doesn't matter,
Yeah,
affect the game.
I'm rooting for Dak. I'm a Dak fan. I love Dak Prescott.
Me too. This is
Love the
tough.
character. Love the quarterback.
This is gonna be exciting, but this is kind of a tough. This is a tough matchup to throw the Cowboys week one. Like I don't know if any team would have beaten. Not many teams would have beaten Tampa in the first week. But anyway, we're kicking off the season good. I know last year was kind of the Chiefs and Texans, which did not go too well. I think this will be a much closer game, even though I do think Tampa runs away with it.
Do we think Ronald Jones gets in the end zone tonight
Yeah,
for our Vegas bettors?
absolutely, absolutely.
Ronald Jones finds the end zone.
Yeah, I don't think Fournette will be involved much. I think it'll be. I think the whole year is going to be
Just
Rojo
Gio.
and Gio. Yeah, I think Fournette might be involved a little bit early on in the season, but as the season goes on, he's going to fade out. Like again. All right, let's go to Sunday. So this is one of the weeks. Really, there's no bye weeks, obviously, because it's the first week. So you get to enjoy every single team for a little while. So I'm looking at the schedule here. I see the Seahawks at Colts. Probably
Yep.
one of the more interesting. Couple interesting. Actually, schedule's pretty fun this week, but usually it's a lot of division games week one. But this is kind of an interesting one. Obviously, NFC versus AFC. Carson Wentz is playing, which is kind of a shocker. Someone told me that like when he got injured in the beginning, or what was it, end of July, or right in the middle of July, whenever he got injured. But he's ready to go. He's been practicing for like the last 2 weeks. I could see the Colts winning this game. Like it wouldn't shock me. Like if they could run over Seattle. I'm still gonna pick Seattle because like Seattle games. All these games come down to one score. They're just a weird team. This always happens. So I do think it's gonna be a close game, and it is in Indy, so I don't blame you if you're picking the Colts. But I'm just gonna go Seattle.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm going with the away team, and it's just for the fact that, and we do this every year when we predict week one. Like, I think the shocker last year. Remember, I think because
Jacksonville.
we did the Pick'em League, right?
Yeah.
Me, you, and Markello, and yeah, there was Jacksonville, but I feel like everybody going into the season had the Eagles blowing out the football team
Yeah.
with Dwayne Haskins, and I actually had Washington winning it by a lot. I didn't think it was going to be, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it ended up it's just a matter of like my thing. So like for an example with the Seahawks and Colts, I actually believe in Carson Wentz. I think he's going to revitalize his career. I don't think he's going to have his MVP year, but I think he's going to be better than last year. But you're still putting it in. I understand it's still with his old offensive coordinator, his old coach, but it's a new team, new offensive line, new receivers you have to work with. You need chemistry, and I don't think week one is something you catch fire on against Russell Wilson and the Seahawks, who have been there with each other for a while now.
Yeah.
They know each other, right? And even though I'm not crazy about Seattle's defense, I'd much rather the Colts defense. I just think Russell Wilson is going to know how to put up more points than the Colts. And I'm not a fan of, even with Paris Campbell healthy, I'm not a fan of their receiver room besides Michael Pittman. T.Y. Hilton's hurt. Jonathan Taylor I like, but I know they want to use their other running backs too. So I don't know how much of a workload he's going to get week one. So I think the safer bet would be the Seahawks here, even though they're away.
Colts left tackle's not playing. Fisher not yet. And
Yeah, he's out.
Is Quentin Nelson back for? I don't know.
I think he's back, but I think he might not be playing 100%.
So yeah. So if he can't, because like the Colts need to run the ball well this game, and then kind of stop Russell, like stop DK Metcalf from going off, and just kind of hold them to field goals and stuff. It's possible. I mean, like you kind of implied with week one. Week one, week one really doesn't tell you anything in the NFL. We probably should like said that before we started, but like week one is definitely the weirdest week of the year because people aren't in shape. Teams aren't complete yet. People who are injured all of training camp are just coming in and playing now. So like you'll see some like a little bit of sluggish football. Obviously, it'll be fun. I think the first part, but then you'll see like people tired. It'll just be kind of weird. There'll be upsets, of course, like there always is. This is probably an interesting game because this is probably only the few wins the Texans can get. I don't know if you're going to pick them, but Jacksonville at Houston. I went back and forth with this game because I really wanted to pick Houston because I don't see many wins on their schedule. Not that I see many for Jacksonville either. Like they're at home. They're one of the oldest teams in the NFL. Houston. I don't know how that's possible because in a
They're
rebuilding year,
rebuilding.
yeah, they should be playing as many young guys as possible. But with that being said, like with a lot of veterans, it's possible. I think they kind of know, the whole NFL like know what it takes, especially early on in the season compared to Jacksonville, who have like a ton of rookies. Coaching staff, I don't believe in at all. I mean, I don't believe in Houston's staff either. So like, that's why it's so hard to pick this game because if I had a deciding factor, I would go with the coaching staff. And but I'm going to pick Jacksonville because of Trevor Lawrence. I just think the talent is and I do like Tyrod. I'm not throwing him under the bus, but Houston don't have much to work with, obviously, in the offensive arsenal. And Jacksonville at least have a pretty decent receiving core and James Robinson. So I'll go Jacksonville, but I think it'll be a very close game, and it wouldn't stun me if Houston won.
Yeah, I agree with you, Said. I'm going to go Jacksonville. Won't be surprised if the Texans win. I'm just going to go with, again, you have a rookie quarterback coming in, number one pick in the draft. There's no film on him taking an NFL snap yet. So in an NFL game script, you don't know what he's going to look like. You don't know he's going to look in 2-minute situations, stuff like that. I like their receiving core a lot better. I like their defense a lot better. I think Jacksonville, they're not going to have a top 15 defense, but I think people look at them and like, oh, they have like one of the bottom 3 defenses in the league. I don't think that's the case. I think we have to give their defense just a little bit more credit with what they did in the offseason. So given all that, and again, no kind of film on Lawrence yet. You still have James Robinson year 2, Chenault year 2. You still have you brought in Marvin Jones Jr. You still have DJ Chark healthy now. I'm going to go Jaguars week 1, but again, it won't be completely surprising if somehow the Texans can win. Tyrod Taylor's a good bet.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny because like I can't see Houston winning more than like 3 games, so this is one of their kind of winnable games. And I'm kind of on the same scale with Jacksonville. I only see like 5 or 6 wins, so like if they don't win these kind of games, I don't know. It's probably going to be in for a long. And Houston is going to be in for a long year. At least with Jacksonville, no matter what, even if Jacksonville did lose week 1, you're still looking forward to like the progress of Trevor Lawrence and the young guys. Houston, I mean, if you're a Texans fan, I think it's going to be a pretty long year. All right, so let's move on. Eagles at Falcons. I see a lot of people picking the Falcons in this game, and I'm actually going to go Philly. I've been saying all offseason, I think Philly's I don't think Philly's as bad as people are making them out to be. Now, I don't think they're going to the playoffs or anything, but like to me, Philly have like a good defensive line and their offensive line is back. So like that's for me, that's a top 10 offensive line when healthy. And there's some depth this year. Now, of course, there's questions about Hurts, the wide receiving core, and everything else, but like I think there's enough offensive like firepower to have a pretty kind of like fun offense. Again, not top 5 or anything, but I think they should have a good rushing attack. I do think Devontae Smith kind of already goes off in week 1. Like I wouldn't be surprised if he has 100 yards against the Falcons. And I do think it'll be a close game though, because like Philly's secondary is not very good. They have a good front, but it's getting a little bit older now. And the Falcons aren't under Dan Quinn anymore, so we can like hopefully they don't like choke away games. Like, still to be determined, but it's a brand new coaching staff. We're not going to put that on them. But I think it'll be a nail biter, and I'm going to go Philly.
So I have 2 games specifically this week where I feel like could go either way that I'm unsure about. This is one of them.
Yeah.
Actually, 3 games. I'm looking at it 3 games that could go either way that it's going to be hard for me to pick. This is one of them. And I was really hoping, because we've agreed on everything so far, that we would pick the Falcons because, it's still the Falcons, still Matt Ryan, Calvin Ridley,
Yeah.
Arthur Smith now. Like, there's still a lot of reasons to pick them.
They're going to score in this game. Like
I will not be surprised if the Falcons win it. And even if they win it by a decent amount, there's definitely a possibility for that because they're also playing at home. But I'm also picking the Eagles. And again, we're agreeing again. This is in division for me. I know how the Falcons are. Even though this is going to be a brand new Falcons team, I think under Arthur Smith, they're going to be better.
Yeah, they are.
I think end of games, they're going to be better. I think the defense got slightly better. One of my favorite players in the draft was Richie Grant. He's going to be starting. I think they're going to be better. But you don't fix your Achilles heel weakness in one off season like that, and they cannot stop rushing quarterbacks. They struggle, and I mean struggle against teams with pass catching backs and running quarterbacks, and that's what Philly has to bring to the table. So even if you're not in love with the wide receiver room, even with rookie Devontae Smith, you still have Zach Ertz and Dallas Goedert will both
Yeah.
be playing, splitting snaps. Even if Dallas Goedert gets majority, Zach Ertz will still be out there too, change of pace. And again, Jalen Hurts is running about. Jalen Hurts is going to run for 100 yards, I think, in this game.
I hope so for my fantasy team. I haven't, I think, starting in all 3 leagues. So
Yes, there's no way he doesn't. This is just the Falcons are not good. They don't have the edge presence to contain rushing quarterbacks. I'm not in love with their nose tackles to stop anything up the middle. You still have Miles Sanders, who I guess is going to be splitting work with Boston Scott, a good change of pace back, and now rookie Kenneth Gainwell, who's a pass catching back, another weakness for the Falcons defense. I just think stylistically how they match up, the Eagles just again match up beautifully against Atlanta. Even with the new coaching staff, I'm not ready to say the Falcons fixed all their problems from last year. So I'm going Philly.
yeah, and funny enough, I will say that I do trust the Falcons coaching staff more than Phillies. Like
Yes.
that's another thing that we didn't talk about. Like these are both new coaching staffs. But a point you made too is like Richie Grant. I do like him. Like any secondary player thrown in year 1 usually struggles, at least for the beginning part of the season, because it's just a different like speed, the NFL. So I think it is asking a lot for Atlanta to kind of like,
Shut down this offense.
yeah. I do think Philly are going to cause multiple defenses throughout the league trouble with Hurts at quarterback. So, but we'll see how it goes. And like you said, I wouldn't be shocked if the Falcons did end up winning this game because they
Yeah.
are going to be a better team. They're better. They're going to be better coached. And I think one thing we didn't mention is from the Falcons' point of view, I think they're going to have a better run game for in the first in
Mike
the
Davis, Wayne Gallman.
first time in a long time. Yeah, just with Arthur Smith really at the helm, like his offensive just scheme is good for running backs. So it'll be a big upgrade from Todd Gurley last year and Ito Smith, who was kind of a mess last year. But all right, let's move on. That's an interesting game. I'm going to keep my eye on that one for sure. Another kind of fun game is Chargers at Washington. Eckler is apparently, I don't know if he's not playing or what, but he missed practice yesterday.
He said I think he tweeted something saying he's excited for week 1. So even though he missed practice with the hamstring, I think he plans on playing.
So I'm like that's gonna be my deciding factor on who wins this game. I have the Chargers winning though. So I have a lot of away teams winning this. And I understand why you pick Washington, like with that defense, the front 7 and everything. But I think the Chargers offense line is definitely not the same as last year. I know it might take time to really get to like full form, but it's just an upgrade. And I think the Chargers defense has some like ballers on it. So I'm gonna go Chargers in a close game. And I think the deciding factor for me is just Justin Herbert. I know it's not all quarterback versus quarterback, but this matchup, particularly if the Washington front 7 obviously can cause havoc, that'll probably win them the game. But I'm gonna have some faith that the Chargers only give up like 2 sacks or something, and I think Herbert will be enough. It'll be a really close game. I think Herbert wins it at the end. Hopefully,
So again,
this is make the kick this year.
Yeah, I know.
How many times
So
the end? But
this is the other game that I was referring to that I really truly don't know how it's going to play out because you look at Washington's defense as a whole, not just the front 7, but the back end of it too, and it's just lethal in my opinion. Again, I'm expecting Austin Eckler to play. I'm assuming that he is playing going into this prediction. So I think if you could rush a young quarterback the way that Washington can, you're setting up pretty nicely. And then I look on the other side of the football, and even though I do believe in Ryan Fitzpatrick, Terry McLaurin, Antonio Gibson, and the Chargers defense has been on and off, bend, don't break, shaky past few years because they're never healthy. Obviously, week 1, they're the healthiest they're going to be going into the year. But Curtis Samuel, probably not. He's been battling injuries all training camp and preseason.
it sounds like we're at a concern that he's going to end up missing the year. Someone said like he might need surgery on that groin because it just hasn't.
The groin injury that just happened while he was warming up.
Yeah, another same one. So
Washington will find drives to move the ball and score. Antonio Gibson and Terry McLaurin alone could move the ball, but I don't know how much I trust anybody else on that offense with Ryan Fitzpatrick week 1. even though they're at home and the defense will give them many opportunities. I just think this is a sneaky kind of Chargers team that will make the playoffs. I believe they will make a wild card. They're just too talented not to. I really, really, really want to pick Justin Herbert as a sleeper MVP candidate. I just know he's not going to win it because the team's not going to have that many wins compared to other teams in the AFC, just because the AFC is that tough. But I could easily see a path of Justin Herbert throwing 40 touchdowns this season. And in this offense, right, with Joe Lombardi, the old Saints offense, it's just you have the running back that's obviously not Kamara, but similar pass catching, running in between the tackles, elusive kind of back, and Austin Eckler. You have your number one receiver, the Michael Thomas to Keenan Allen. You have whoever your number two is going to be. You have Mike Williams there. I like the rookie that they brought in, Palmer. So I'm going to go Chargers just because the Washington offense to me is suspect without Curtis Samuel. Like, again, you're still going to move the ball and put up points with Gibson and McLaurin. I just have too much faith in this Chargers offense. And now, new offensive line for the Chargers too. Maybe that we won't think he'll get sacked as much week one. We have to see how they play all together now. I'll go Chargers, but again, it could be Washington. I'm just going with pure talent and youth.
Wow, I'm surprised he went Chargers. I thought for sure this is gonna be the one that we kind of disagreed with.
I want Washington. I love Washington. I love their roster. It's just, again, Ryan Fitzpatrick is week one with this new team, with this offensive line. And you know how I am with new teams and
Yeah,
week one playing with new offensive line. I think that matters a lot. So I think there's a chance, just again, football is a game about outscoring your opponent. I think it's easier to think that Justin Herbert can outscore Ryan Fitzpatrick in his offense.
yeah, this is gonna be one of those. I think this is gonna be one of the best games of the week. I don't know about like scoring wise, but like just teams versus
Yeah.
teams. Like this is kind of like I don't want to say identical matchup, but like Washington have a lot of talent. It just for me, it's really just taking Herbert over Fitzpatrick, which probably might not be the right call in this game because if the Washington front seven gets going, they can make this game. They could really end this game.
But I've seen Herbert pressured
Yeah,
by
so have I.
an opposing defensive line, and he still thrives.
Yeah, he just hangs in there and delivers. So
Yeah,
I
so
think Derwin James might be the deciding factor as well. Someone who hasn't
again,
played in a long time,
one of the guys is going in healthy this year for once. So
and he's probably the best safety when he's healthy in the National Football League. So we'll see who he matches up against and
this
what.
could still be Washington, but again, if I'm locking in, which I am in my pick'ems, I'm putting Chargers.
All right, so let's move on. I think for the next couple, we'll probably agree. Steelers at Bills. This
Bills.
matchup last year wasn't that great. I think it was like a Sunday night game. I do have the Steelers scoring in this game. I don't think I do have. So first of all, I have the Bills winning. I'm pretty sure most people do. The Steelers have a good team, but how they ended last year is not really a pretty sight. I don't think they're going to come out like 10-0, obviously again, but I don't think they're going to go like 0-6. However they ended the year, they're probably going to be a mix in between. For me at least, I don't have them terrible. And I don't have them great this year. But I do think the Steelers are a talented team. Like I'm never counting out Mike Tomlin. The man's won with nothing before. I still have them winning at least 8 games this year. Like I don't know. I haven't gone through the whole schedule of Pittsburgh, but for me, that's just like coaching and the talent they have on the roster. But for this game, they're going up against one of the top 2 or 3 teams in the AFC. Josh Allen looked incredible last year and in the preseason again. So like, there's no reason to think that especially at home, that it's gonna be a bad game. I do think it'll be a little bit closer than people think, but this game kind of reminds me of Tampa Dallas tonight. Like it's just kind of that matchup where it's like it should be a high scoring game. I do think Pittsburgh are going to score, but I just think the Bills are going to obviously score more.
Okay. Yeah, so I think I'm lower on the Steelers this year. I have them winning anywhere from 7 to 9 games. So I just think this is one of the games that they're going to lose. I think they struggle against the higher caliber teams in the league, and that's what the Bills are, like you said. I think they're going to take a drastic step down defensively, the Steelers, and their offensive line is suspect to me. I believe in the receiving core. I believe in Najee Harris. I don't believe in Ben's arm anymore. I don't think it could last you, like how everybody was saying, like Drew Brees' arm can't last you a full 17. I think we're at that point with Big Ben now.
We're going 18 this year.
Yeah, so 7, 8, or 9 wins, I think 9 wins is being generous, I think. I think there is a chance for the Steelers to miss the playoffs. I wouldn't be surprised if they do miss the playoffs. like tying for a wild card spot with the Chargers, but the Chargers have the head-to-head matchup advantage. So I'm going Bills at home. Pretty easy bet for me. Even with the suspect running game of the Bills, I still like their offensive weapons. I still like, Diggs, Sanders now, Emmanuel Sanders, Gabriel Davis. And still, if Zach Moss and Devin Singletary can combine for 100 yards, I think that's all you need.
I'm not even sure I don't even think they need that, to be honest. Like, they barely did it last year. So, but you're right. And the Bills' pass rush actually looks pretty good this year. It was preseason again, but Gregory Rousseau looked really good in the preseason. Something I was not expecting. So that continues, like, especially up against this offensive line. That's a good recipe for Buffalo. All right, so the next one I think is most people's survivor pick of the week. The Niners at Lions. Obviously, I'm going San Fran. The Lions, it's gonna be another like tough year for them. Like, especially this year, obviously without Stafford, brand new coaching staff, and the point of this year for the Lions is just for youth and to get better. From week 1 all the way to week 17. Starting them up against the 49ers like a death sentence, to be honest. Like, it's not really a fair matchup. And the Niners defense is back healthy, for at least week 1. We'll see. Hopefully they continue staying healthy, and just the combination of George Kittle, Ayuk, Debo, and it's going to be Garoppolo starting week 1. It sounds like Garoppolo might play most of the year, to be honest. Obviously, depending on play and health, but that sounds like the plan for the Niners. And the Niners are just a stacked team going up against Detroit right now. So I'm going to go probably the biggest blowout of the week, to be honest. I'm going to go 49ers.
Yeah, I agree with you. Don't want to waste too much time. The Lions are going to be a bottom 3 team in the league for me this year. Even though I think they will get better defensively. Offensively, they will not be better.
Yeah, that's really the issue, right? Because Detroit have some like intriguing pieces on defense, like a secondary to work with, but when their defense is going to be on the field a lot this year, because
I even like what they did in the draft. I like their defensive line. I love what they did at defensive tackle.
Yeah.
I love the pass rusher they brought back. I'm blanking on his name.
Aquaro.
Yeah, they extended him. So I like their defensive line. I like their secondary a little bit better, but
they're going to be on the field for like 40 minutes a game, maybe like 45.
Yeah, linebackers are suspect. You're going to be on the field most of the game, and their offense is going to be putrid.
And what Sewell is looking like pretty bad right now, right tackle. I don't know if they need to switch him back to left tackle, but and obviously it's going to take time because switching from one side to the other is not as easy as people think it is. It's just like a different game. And I don't think he played last year in college, so a little bit of rust to knock off. But that's the only like fun part I see about their offense, like throughout the year, is like the offense line developing, because they actually have a lot of talent there to be a top 10 unit in the future. All right, so next game is I think most people favor this team, but I guess this game can go either way. Vikings at Bengals.
I don't see it going either way, honestly.
No,
I think this is Minnesota by a good amount.
I don't know.
I'm not worried about Joe Burrow and his leg. I'm not. I think he'll be good. I think the offense is going to be really good. I think Joe Mixon's going to be really good. I think all the receivers. I'm not worried about Jamar Chase's drops because you still have Boyd and Higgins to move the ball. I'm not worried about the offense at all, even though the offensive line slightly better, but still not an average line, still a below average line. Their defense is bottom 5 in the league. And I think it's going to show against Dalvin Cook and Adam Thielen and Justin Jefferson and your boy Chris Herndon.
Yeah. I'm picking the Vikings too. I do think it could be a close game. Like, the Vikings, to me, are kind of a mystery this year. I don't see them making the playoffs. I did take a look at their schedule. It's a very, very tough schedule. So they obviously need to win this game. My biggest question about the Vikings is their defense, like this throughout the year. And based on last year, I know they added pieces, Hunter's back, and that's like great. Like, they need him. They need him to play great. But the Vikings defense was pretty bad last year. So I could easily see, and I know you said you're banking on Mixon to play well this year, but the Bengals have firepower to make this a high scoring game, and it's in Cincinnati. But
I just think that
I'm taking the Vikings too, but I could this wouldn't be like if this happened as an upset, it wouldn't this wouldn't shock me like Jacksonville beat the Colts last year, where it's like, oh my god, I couldn't see how this happened.
No, yeah. Anytime Kirk Cousins loses a game, you're not surprised. I think it'll be more of like the Vikings have a decent lead, and then Joe Burrow, like fourth quarter, will like get some garbage time points and make it look like it was a respectable game, even though the game was really lost by the third quarter, kind of thing.
All right, you got no faith in Cincy.
Just their defense against the Vikings. I like the Vikings offense a lot.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I'm picking the Vikings too. So this one I think we're definitely going to disagree with. Jets at Panthers.
We've been disagreeing about this game since May when the schedules came out.
Yeah, so this line has changed a lot since Carl Lawson went down. This was a 3-point favorite for Carolina, which turned into 5.5. And the 3-point favorite literally meant the game was dead even because the home team gets spotted 3 points. If I had to bet on this game, I'd bet Carolina at this point. I do think Carl Lawson is going to be. That was like why I had the Jets winning, because the Panthers' offensive line is literally, I think, the worst in the NFL, or at least bottom 3. This game's gonna be won in the trenches. Like, that's simply is it. If the Jets can't get any pressure, it's over. Like, clearly, like, the Panthers' offense wide receivers are really good. Um, the Panthers' defense is like it's up there. Like, it's getting better. Like, last year's a little bit rough year, but they had a bunch of rookies playing, and it got better as the season went on. Game's obviously in Carolina, so like, if I had to, I'm picking the Jets because I'm a Jet fan, obviously, and for the pick'ems, it's just fun. So I'm not actually betting on this game. I'm actually going to this game, so I'll be in Carolina. So I do hope the Jets win. But honestly, like, this season for the Jets, like, the Panthers are kind of a year ahead of us in this stage. So like, they're kind of the NFC version of us, but 1 year ahead. And they have a lot of old Jet players. If you look out through the roster, it's kind of, besides Darnold, like, Robbie's there, a few other like ex-Jets, and Matt Rule is like the guy a lot of Jet fans wanted. So it's kind of funny, like, almost the NFC version of the Jets, but like a year, obviously further in development. If the Jets were to win this game, it's because the interior just blows up in Darnold's face, and he has a few turnovers. But you know, CMC's back. I don't think the Jets can stop him, like, out of the backfield, like, just checking down to him and him kind of going. Stopping DJ Moore, Robbie's going to be a tough task. So you're going to have to get to Darnold. I do think Darnold will make a mistake or two in this game, just who he is, no matter what happens. Like, I don't know if the Jets can actually capitalize. With that being said, I just want Zach Wilson to play well, even if we did end up losing. Just give me a close game, and if we lose by like 7 points or a field goal, that's fine. Like, but for my sake, I'm gonna go Jets. I hope we just kind of like hold the ball, like run the ball, and have a few good drives, and then just get pressure on Darnold and just pick him off, or he'll give you a ball or two if you get pressure in his face.
All right. So here's where I stand on this game. Because even with Carl Lawson, I was picking the Panthers, but now without it, it's pretty much a done deal for me, in my opinion.
Well, Carl Lawson, that's the biggest loss of the Jets season. Like, he was the most valuable player on D. Not the best. I think Quinnen's the best, but the most valuable player on the Jets defense was Carl Lawson, without a doubt.
Yeah. So here's where I stand on it, right? I still like the Jets defensive line. Pass rush, I don't know, but your defensive tackles are best in the league, in my opinion. Okay.
That's a tough. I don't know about that.
I'm not comparing. I don't know about like the Aaron Donald. I'm not comparing Aaron Donald. I'm just saying I like the Quinnen and Rankins duo. I think that's a deadly duo in this league.
Offline. No matter what happens in this game, they're going to destroy the left guard and center.
Yes. So I still like that. I love the linebacking core still. Okay.
Really? Jared Davis is out though for the first 5 weeks.
I know he's out, but I still I don't think everybody. I think Reddit wrote off C.J. Mosley after the injury and then sitting out for COVID, and forgot that he was like the last time he played football was the best middle linebacker in football. So I don't know if he'll be the best right off the gate.
3 quarters.
Yeah. So I don't know if he's going to be the best in right out the gate, but I think he's still top in his position in the league. And then your secondary, I'm not a fan of. No. So my thing is, you have to worry about DJ Moore, like you said, on those intermediate routes, those drag routes that Sam Darnold loves to throw. Okay. You still have the same connection with Robbie, right? Robbie just got extended too, right? So he's proven that he's worth the money. And their rookie Terrace Marshall, I love. I think he's a good 50-50 ball receiver that Darnold likes throwing down the sidelines too. I just think you have many weapons, and that's not even including Christian McCaffrey, right? Yeah. And whether it's checkdowns or running the ball, McCaffrey's going to get the job done. And I think Carolina has such a sleeper defense this year. Nobody's acknowledging their defense. I think they have a top 15 defense. I think year 2 of this defense is going to be really good. I think the Panthers have a good chance to make a wild card in the NFC if all things go right. The only reason why I think this game will still be close is because I think Zach Wilson's special and he can make special things happen, right? The Jets offense, I like more than the defense this year, which I never thought I'd say.
So
Elijah Moore's still going to play, even though with that quad injury he had in preseason.
He's kind of
I don't know
like if
what
he,
happened.
yeah, he's the X factor. If it's apparently I don't know, like there's no film on him besides college. So if he went off, like it's possible.
Yeah, no, agreed.
And just
I,
and
the Panthers are not going to be shadowing, but you do have the rookie
if
playing.
you go watch Elijah Moore versus J.C. Horn. Look who won that
Yeah.
match by a decent margin.
So J.C. Horn's going to be playing. I was just going to say the rookie J.C. Horn's going to be in. I don't know if Crowder's going to play. It's sounding like no.
No, I don't think he's on COVID. It's possible. He is vaccinated, but like what day's today? What day's Thursday? We didn't hear anything about today. Yesterday, he still wasn't back. I guess Crowder hypothetically doesn't need a week of practice. So if he were to be good by Saturday, I'm guessing they would just throw him in if he's like actually.
Maybe for a few plays, you mean, if as long as he passes protocols, all that.
Yeah, like he doesn't need like
But
Crowder. So
you're going to be seeing a lot of Corey Davis, Elijah Moore, Keenan Cole, that kind of.
hopefully Denzel Mims. Throw Cole out of there, put in Mims.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Again, sleeper defense for Carolina. I think Zach Wilson's special enough to put points on the board. I think the running back by committee will do what they have to do on the ground, hopefully, maybe. But the Panthers just have way too many paths to win this game.
Yeah, I could tell you how the Jets can win right now.
There's definitely a way, yeah.
Yeah, like besides what we've been talking about, like to beat Sam Darnold, it's pretty simple. Like get in his face, obviously. This is probably an kind of like maybe I'm wrong. For me, I know you mentioned like Terrence Marshall, Robbie Anderson down the sideline. I know the Jets corners aren't good. Like there's going to be like struggles throughout the year and like learning curves. Like there are a bunch of rookies and second year players. In this particular game, and even if they do get burnt one or two times, I'm almost willing to die playing them on man coverage. And the reason why is because if the pass rush gets there soon enough, Sam Darnold's not a good deep ball thrower. He's just not. I would love that opportunity. If he hits 1 out of 5, I'll take it. Like that's just who he is as a quarterback. And that's tough because you're playing against DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson, so the pass rush needs to get there or it's going to be a touchdown. But I'm almost willing to play that. And at certain times throughout the like on third downs, that's what I'm doing. I'm not giving him like an over the middle, like easy completion. And I'm selling. First of all, I'm selling out to stop McCaffrey. Like I'll put on 2 guys on him, like stop the run, and do as much as you can out of the backfield, and then just dare Darnold to beat the Jets because he won't unless there's no pass rush, unless it's like just check down, and that's possible too because this Jet defense is really young. And that's why I'm almost favoring the Panthers at this point without Carl Lawson because I think it's too much of a ask for like 2 rookie linebackers, a pass rush that I trust from the middle, but I don't really know what we're getting from Shaq Lawson. We just got him like 12 days ago, and Taylor Moton's pretty good, but I don't know. Like this is if the Jets can, like I said, I'm kind of scared of the Panthers pass rush. I know you mentioned their defense. I do think we can run over the Panthers. Like they do have a small front besides Derek Brown. I love Brian Burns. Like I do think he's top 5, top 6 pass rusher, but strictly as a run defender, he's not the same. Like I think Becton will handle him there. I'm just a little bit worried about him, obviously running around the edge because Becton's kind of had a up and down camp, we'll say at best, and he also got a concussion, so he's just coming back too. That'll if the Jets can protect Zach Wilson, obviously the game will be over no matter what happens on defense. Like I said, I'm hoping just for a good game, and I think we will get it. And just really, I'm more focused on the offense than I am on the defense. I don't really care what happens. Like if Sam Darnold throws for like 300 yards, like the Jets.
I just don't even think you could man them up. I don't think you can man them up.
Well, I'm saying, I'm just gonna I almost want to let Darnold beat us because I can sleep well at night knowing like we did like Darnold. I'm serious, but like for real, if the game comes down to it, just stick him in man and just hope that Rankins or Quinnen gets through the line in like 1 second, 2 seconds.
All right. That was a lot of time on the Jets and Panthers.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be an interesting matchup, and obviously I want to talk about that one. So the last 1 p.m. game is Cardinals at Titans. This is another
really good game.
Yeah, another
either
fun.
way.
I went Tennessee for this one, and maybe because they were at home, but I just think I don't know how the Cardinals can hypothetically stop Julio Jones, AJ Brown, and Derrick Henry. I know like Chandler Jones is back and JJ Watt,
but their secondary is so bad right now.
Yeah, and I like the linebackers in the future. Isaiah Simmons did not play very well last year. He didn't get a lot of snaps, and then you also have the rookie Collins. Like it's his first NFL game. That's a lot to ask to stop Henry. And I don't know. The Cardinals look. I don't want to take anything away from preseason, but the Cardinals looked absolutely terrible in preseason. With Kyler Murray, like they just look. And I know it's preseason. I don't think it'll be like a long term issue, but you know how I feel about Cliff Kingsbury. I think you're in the same boat. I think he'll be fired at the end of the year, and I think this is one of those games where it just kind of like shows that even a guy like Mike Vrabel is just a better coach, and I'm taking Tennessee.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said, which is why I'm going to go Tennessee. There's still a way for the Cardinals to win the game. It's just
The Cardinals.
You don't even have one competent corner because now you have Malcolm Butler recently acquired, right? Contemplating retirement. He's on one of the lists.
He retired. He got put on the list. I don't think he come back.
Yeah, so who's starting for them right now at corner? Let me just look this up real quick because he was their corner one.
Byron Murphy. I think Robert Alford came back. Like he's been on the team for like 2 or 3 years, but I think this is the first time he's actually healthy. I don't know if he's starting though.
So let's see right here. Right?
It was Byron Murphy, right?
Byron Murphy, Robert Alford.
So it is
Marco Wilson, rookie. That's more of like nickel corner.
2 rookies.
Tay going, yeah, and then Luke Barco.
They only have 5 corners.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's listed in the depth chart right now. And again, Jalen Thompson, not crazy about. I do like Budda Baker, but he's not going to be anybody to shut down Julio or AJ Brown or Derrick Henry. It's just even if the game gets dicey and let's say the front seven's giving Tennessee problems, right? Literally all Mike Vrabel has to do is, Julio block on the outside, motion AJ Brown in, have him block, and just give the ball to Derrick Henry as many times as you want to in the fourth quarter, and you could win the game in the fourth quarter alone.
It doesn't sound like they have anyone to tackle AJ Brown either. If they throw like a post route,
screen pass or anything,
take it all the way.
Yeah, so it's literally just. I feel like it's no disrespect to Cardinals player. These are all grown men in the NFL, but to me, this matchup is more like men against boys kind of thing. The thing that's good about Arizona is their speed, offensively and defensively. But again, it's men amongst boys. Tennessee's just bigger than them.
It's kind of frustrating though, especially from like a Cardinals point of view. Like this is year 3. Like Kyler Murray's already proven he's a pretty good quarterback. It's kind of frustrating that this is the secondary they put. Like this should be one of the prime years of like you.
But even their offensive line, have they not addressed the offensive line in a drastic measure? I know they made moves to make it better, and it's definitely better compared to his rookie year, Kyler Murray. But when you draft, look what Joe Douglas is doing with the Jets' offensive line. I'm not saying it's there yet.
Well, the Chargers did with Herbert. Like there's a couple.
The Chargers did with Herbert. Like
did it with Mayfield last year. So like there's plenty of examples.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'll go Tennessee, but there is a way for the Cardinals to win. It's just I don't think it'll happen.
You're gonna be one of the most frustrating teams because like there's gonna be exciting plays. They just play in such a tough division, and when you're in year 3 of a rookie contract, this should be one of the big pushes for like playoffs and Super Bowl. And for me, in the division they play in, like they almost have to win this game for me. I know it's week 1 and I get it, but like everyone's in a different like. The Cardinals have to try to make the playoffs this year. I know they were like close last year and they kind of like, it kind of phased down at the end of the year. But like the Cardinals need to be they need to be in the playoffs this year, I think, for Kingsbury not to be fired.
And my thing is, I think if you're a betting guy, I think their last betting odds to win the division. So that means you need to be playing for a wild card. And there's too many teams, all of them being in your division. Let's say the Rams win the division. You still have to worry about the other 2 teams making those wild cards, plus anybody like Carolina or anybody else in the NFC. Cowboys, Washington.
Have to win 3 division games.
Saints.
At least 2, but looking at 3. All right, so this definitely might be my favorite matchup of the week. 425 Browns to Chiefs.
Yep.
I'm gonna say this. I have the Chiefs right now because this is week 1. The Browns have a couple new defensive pieces, which I'm excited for. Week 1. For the Browns, I still think the Browns are going to be a really good team this year. I have them winning the North. But like I said, week 1 really doesn't like indicate many things, and that's throughout the NFL. We said this already. I think the Browns are a better like December and January team just based on how they built their team. Like just not saying Nick Chubb can't have a good game or anything, but like the Browns are kind of built for the cold, right? Like when and their offensive line. The Chiefs, brand new offensive line, I think will be. They're going to be working on some things. It's definitely going to be an upgrade from last year, but it might take some time to really like get going. This for me, this is like an AFC Championship kind of matchup, and then you can throw in Buffalo with either one of these teams. I do think these are like the final two or three teams in the AFC for me, at least, to win the whole thing from the AFC point of view. But I'm going to take the Chiefs in this one, just strictly because it's week one. They're at home. Like, it's Pat Mahomes. The Browns have new defensive pieces. I get it. But at the same point, it's like it's week one for them. A lot of them, especially in the secondary, are extremely young. And some of them didn't even play last year, like Greedy Williams. So, like, it's just a lot to work on. And then ask them to stop the Chiefs week one is a tough. But then again, it wouldn't shock me if the Browns won, because I do think overall the Browns have the better roster than the Chiefs. But they do not have Patrick Mahomes. And I'm not hating on Baker. He's just not Patrick Mahomes. Not many people are. And like I said, I do think the Browns – I like this matchup. I want to see this matchup again, but in January when the cold hits. That's when I want to see this matchup again.
Yeah, I think we will see it, because I think you're looking at the two best teams, not just in the AFC, but in all of football.
Yeah, in the NFL.
Take out the Buccaneers. These are two of the best three teams.
Yeah.
So there's – again, when you have the two best teams in the AFC going against each other, you're not going to say lock it in, the Chiefs are winning, because there is a way for the Cleveland to win. Again, healthy Odell, healthy Jarvis, the running game healthy, Chubb and Hunt. There is a way, but I do think the Chiefs are talented enough and strong-willed enough. They've been talking about for how many months now that they want to go undefeated, 20-0, this whole thing. I'm not sure they go 20-0. I'm sure they'll drop a regular season game or two. Yeah, but I do think that I think that's genuinely a goal of theirs. I think they go into the locker room game plan every week and they're like, okay, 20-0, how do we win every single week? And they're going to try to dominate every single week. So, when you aim for the moon, land at the stars, it's still not bad. Or other way around, is it aim for the stars, land on the moon? One of the two.
I think so.
Yeah, it's one of those.
You get the
you get the gist of it. I have Mahomes sneak peek. We're going to talk about prediction awards. I have Mahomes winning MVP just because I think they're going to be the team closest and finish with the best record in football.
Mm-hmm.
But it won't be surprised if the Browns finish as the 1 seed or 2 seed. Like, these are the top 2 seeds. And I think both will lose a maximum of 2 or 3 games, both teams. So the Browns, because going into the season, I thought the Browns had one of the best rosters in the league. And then I looked at their schedule and I was like, oh my God, this is like one of the easiest schedules in the league on top of having the best roster. So once they get past this hard week 1 matchup, it's honestly smooth sailing for the Browns. I'm not worried about the Steelers. I'm going to have the Browns. I predict the Browns to sweep them in their matchup this year. The Ravens, I'm sure, could take a game. It's possible Lamar Jackson, but I could also see there's a possibility for the Browns to sweep the division. They're a really good team. So I won't be surprised if the Browns win. I'm just going to go with Patty Mahomes because it's the same thing when Tom Brady 12's on the field, you don't bet against him. And when 15's on the field, you don't bet against him either. So I'm going Chiefs.
The whole week 1 schedule, there's actually a lot of interesting and fun matches.
Yeah, because a lot of these games actually I never really. The first time I looked at it, I didn't see it, but a lot of these games go either way. Even about this next game, right? Miami Dolphins at New England Patriots. Yeah, if Cam Newton was playing, I was picking Patriots. Even with Mac Jones, I still might pick Patriots. This game could go either way.
So I think they did split. They split last year with each other, and the Dolphins even with Brady, tend to win games like against the Patriots. Usually in Miami, though. This one's in Foxborough. I'm going to go the Patriots, and I do think the Patriots are making the playoffs this year. I don't think the Dolphins are. I've said this since the offseason, and it really had nothing to do with. And surprisingly, this is gonna be funny. Had nothing to do with the quarterback, whether it was Cam or Mac. For me, you guys know that I like Cam. If you've been watching the show. But Mac Jones looked incredible during the preseason. I thought he was honestly I think for me he's the most impressive rookie. I don't want to be biased with Zach. Like Mac Jones was definitely a shocker to me. Like just throughout the preseason, and like we want to take it with a grain of salt because it's preseason. Like I said with some other teams, so it doesn't mean Mac Jones is going to come out and light the world on fire because he's going up against a tough Dolphins defense. But at the same point, it's like the Patriots are almost like this team kind of reminds me of the last year of Brady, besides maybe with a better offense, where their defense is back. Like they're fully back. There's a lot of additions the people who came back. Matthew Judon looks incredible in the preseason.
There's no Gilmore though to start, right?
No Gilmore. But the Dolphins don't have Fuller in this matchup, so I guess you can.
Yes, that's true.
Let's even it out. Yeah, I'm gonna go Patriots strictly because they're at home. I think they'll be able to run the football very well with this big offensive line. Mac Jones will take what the defense gives him. Funny enough, the Dolphins actually gave up the 5th most like fantasy points to quarterbacks last year or yards. So like they're kind of a bend but don't break defense with turnovers, obviously with like Howard. But I think Mac Jones will be smart enough with the football. And this Dolphins offensive line is terrible, and that's going to be their downfall this whole season. Like I'm being serious. Like just not on this matchup, but almost like there'll be a couple of games where they should win or could win, and they'll just lose because they can't protect Tua. And I could see the Dolphins winning this, of course, but with the Patriots defense back as it is, them at home, the fans back for the first time in 2 years at home, I'm going to go Patriots. It's a tough place to play. It really is in Foxborough.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said, so I'm going to go Patriots. But again, if you're going to beat Bill Belichick and the Patriots, it's going to be in September. So it's better off that the Dolphins just go to New England and not have to worry about going to New England at the end of the year. So this is favorable for Miami, going into the second game. But again, I'm not crazy about Miami's offensive line against the Patriots' defensive line. I think the Patriots guys will win that battle. And then I understand everybody loves Myles Gaskin. I'm not a huge fan of him as much as everybody else is.
I like him.
I don't think he's talented enough to dice up and run through this Patriots defense, get into the second level, break a tackle. And you know what I mean? I'm not expecting a lot of big plays from him to be a difference maker to relieve that pressure off of Tua. So I think you're going to ask Tua to have to throw the ball a lot this game to win the game. And I don't know with a rookie Jalen Waddle, even though I like Jalen Waddle, asking a rookie to go in to beat Bill Belichick's defense, I just don't see happening.
Yeah, it's a tough ask for the Dolphins. I think the only thing you can ask for as like a Dolphins fan or like a Dolphins supporter is like they were almost a playoff team last year with 10 wins. Like you have to be competitive in this game. I don't care if you lose. Like they have to be.
My thing is, look, it's still possible for them to win. Your goal as the Dolphins staff, players, fans, keep it close going into the fourth quarter. Just give yourself a chance in the fourth.
I think actually they won at Foxborough last year, but I think what you were kind of alluding to, I think the Dolphins had almost 200 yards rushing.
You're not going to get that.
I can't see that happening again. So like this has to be a 2-2 to win this game for you if the Dolphins were to win.
Yeah, so keep it close in the fourth and hope for the best.
All right, another interesting matchup. This is almost a 50-50 split in terms of anywhere you look. It's Denver at Giants. They kind of are similar teams in a way. Both have like quarterback issues or question marks. The Giants defense was really good last year, so there's definitely a way for them to win this game. I'm going Denver, and it's because I don't like the Giants' offensive line. I don't think it's as bad as like Carolina's or the Dolphins, but I don't. Like Andrew Thomas got beat pretty bad in the preseason again. Like I was hoping.
And you're asking them to go against this defensive line.
We don't know if Bradley Chubb's playing or not, though. I guess that could be good for the Giants. Apparently, it's an ankle issue, and he got like arrested during the week. But I'm going Denver because I think their defense. Like I know we're talking about the Giants' defense being. I think it is going to be very good again, but I think Denver's defense has a chance to be like better than the Giants, and the Denver's offensive line is like it's not great, but it's not like bad like the Giants. And I don't know. I think Teddy Bridgewater will do more than Daniel Jones will this game. I think that'll just be enough. I think it'll be a close game, but I'm gonna go. I just see like a field goal type of game, a lot of field goals, and maybe like 1 or 2 touchdowns from both teams. But I'm gonna go Denver.
Agreed. I think these are really 2 underrated defenses that are going to be going head to head against each other. But I think where you lose this game is Kenny Golladay, newly acquired for the Giants, going into the season with injuries already.
He's all camp, right?
He's battling stuff, hamstrings, all camp, all preseason.
Tony missed all camp.
Sterling Shepard's a healthy scratch. Kadarius Toney battling stuff too, all training camp and preseason. Huh?
Shepard's not playing?
No, he is playing. So he's a healthy scratch.
All right.
Yeah, he's a healthy scratch. Kadarius Toney, though, has been battling injury and then just not looking good in training camp. I saw a report that says he might have a significant role, which only tells me that if you're giving that guy a significant role, it's because Kenny Galladay's not good to go.
Yeah.
And you need the opportunity to come from somewhere. You still have Slayton. Saquon's coming back. I don't know how much his workload will be week 1. I just don't. The secondary for Denver's lethal. I love the front 7 still, with or without Bradley Chubb playing week 1.
Evan Ingram's not playing. I
And
believe.
I don't see, yeah, I don't think he's playing either. I don't see Teddy Bridgewater really turning the ball over. You're not going to see any wow plays, deep bombs from Teddy, but I don't think you're going to see many turnovers either. So if you're telling me that the Broncos could really run the ball and, just pass to Judy or Fant on third down, Cortland Sutton, I don't know how he's going to look coming back from injury. But if you could just move the ball on third down, get some field goals, maybe a few touch, like I think there's a better chance for Denver to win this game.
Yeah, I actually think Denver had better weapons. I know like a lot of
Better
people.
weapons and they're healthier.
Yeah, and someone I'm keeping an eye on. Maybe not for fantasy, just to watch. But KJ Hamler really lit up the preseason. Like
Yep.
he could definitely take a deep ball to the
Take
house.
the,
Like,
he
it's
could
like
take the top off. Yeah, but I just don't think
well, they
Teddy's
might.
going to throw it.
If I'm trusting one person, like just say the game's really close, and one person to go deep, even though Teddy's not a good deep ball thrower, I don't think the Giants have anyone that can really stretch the field. If Galladay's not playing like healthy and Tony missed off camp, I'm going to take Hamler over anything the Giants have. Maybe Slayton, like he's gotten deep. He's won deep before, but Daniel Jones just missed him. But like this is honestly a 50-50 matchup, and whatever team wins, I'm not really going to be surprised. They're kind of funny because they're similar teams. They're kind of like the NFC and AFC version of each other. It's just in recent years, so it's kind of ironic that they're playing now in Week 1. But all right, let's move on.
Next game. I don't want to take too long on this. It's going to make me sad to take too long on this. Prayers are with everybody in New Orleans and Louisiana.
Yeah.
With the hurricanes and the weather and everything that's going on down there. So I believe this game is being played in Jacksonville, right?
Because Aaron Rodgers struggles in Jacksonville.
Yeah, that was.
He's pissed off now. I don't know if you've seen. He's pissed off.
No, yeah, I don't know why
asked
Sean Payton would openly say that because that's where I came from. Sean Payton,
someone asked him
leaked out that.
Yeah, he was pissed. Like he didn't. He gave me like I'm gonna score some points on Sunday. So
I think honestly, I think it's gonna be a blowout because I love that Jameis is a starter. I'm really happy it's that over Taysom. No Michael Thomas for the first 2 months of football.
Never. He's not coming back. So
Kamara is playing. Just released Latavius Murray, so it's the undrafted rookie Tony Jones.
Marquez Callaway
backup. Marquez Callaway, but he's probably going to be shadowed by Alexander, so I don't know how productive he's going to be. Look, I believe for a few first downs, but to get in the end zone, I don't see the Saints getting in the end zone a lot Sunday afternoon, unfortunately. And it sucks that it counts as a home game, and I think that we're going to get beaten badly. We recently, just yesterday, traded for what's his name?
Bradley Roby.
Yep. And it's funny too that the Texans had to restructure his deal just to make the cap work to be traded to New Orleans. So I thought that was funny.
I like Roby for the long-term look for the season.
I'm more confident about our corner room now, just from that trade alone. Because now we have Lattimore, we have Roby, signed Desmond Trufant, rookie Paulson Adebo. I'm feeling better about it.
But don't
safeties.
Don't trust Trufant, but the rest of them
I know. Yeah, our safeties. I like the depth. I'm saying we actually have depth now. So our safeties, I still love. Quan Alexander is going to be playing week 1, which is surprising. So I'm really happy for him and the comeback he's made. So our defense is still going to be top tier, I believe. We don't have the same depth on the defensive line, but I want to see what our rookie first-round pick's going to do. I want to see what Davenport's going to do. I want to
contract year.
I know. I want to see Cam Jordan prove that this is not the beginning of the end for him. That it's not a fall off. I want to see that last year was just a fluke year, an off year for him. But I just don't see the Saints offense moving the ball, honestly, against Green Bay's defense. I know Green Bay's has been bend, don't break. You could run it against them in the past. They addressed the corner room a little bit in the offseason, and the Saints aren't really working with many receiving threats. Our tight ends are all hurt, playing not 100%. We have Callaway playing, but again, shadowed by one of the best corners in the league. Who's going to step up as wide receiver 2 now? Is it going to be Deontay Harris? Is it going to be one of our wide receivers transformed tight end?
Mm-hmm.
Kamara is going to have to be getting 10 catches. He needs at least 10 receptions this game. So I think even if we do put points on the board, unfortunately, I'm expecting, because it's not Jameis's fault, but because he's going to have to force the ball down the field, especially in the second half. I see an interception or 2 happening just because it's going to be game script. He's going to have to be pushing it to try to keep us in the game. And I think that's going to be our detriment even more. Aaron Rodgers, like you said, is pissed. And we saw what happened when Aaron Rodgers is pissed. It's the Tom Brady effect. He'll win an MVP award. So Adams is going to light us up. Aaron Jones, I don't know how good of a game he'll have, but even our defense is going to be tired out because even when Aaron Jones is done running the ball, like AJ Dillon is such a good complementary like second back. A power back really is going to wear us out. I think the Packers are really going to run away with this game in the second half, unfortunately. So I have the Packers.
Fair enough. You covered most of it. I'm not going to spend too much time.
Yep.
Your matchup last year is kind of fun. I don't know if people remember it. I think it was Sunday Night Football matchup.
Yes,
I don't think Devontae Adams played either, or Michael
he
Thomas.
didn't. They
But
both did not play.
I do think the Saints defense this year is going to be better than that matchup. But at the same point, I don't think Kamara is going to go. I think he had like 3 touchdowns in that game. That was one of the craziest games I've seen from running back. He was great. Still think he's not a good game, but that was like over the top, like great. And I think the Packers know, like really without.
Kamara could have won an MVP last year.
Yeah.
Like of football, offensive player of football.
So yeah, I'm gonna go Packers. I think it would be a little bit close. I don't think it's gonna be a blowout, but I don't think it'll be like. I don't think it'll be a 3-point game either. So
no, yeah, I just think they're gonna run away with it in the second half.
So, but I'm still with the Saints. Like I'm not changing my offseason prediction with the Saints. Like I still think they're a wild card team, and
I hope so.
I agree with you. I think the defense is gonna be better. The offense is the question mark for me.
It's just going to be tough with the other teams. You have to worry about the NFC West teams. I still think you have to worry about Carolina.
The NFL is pretty stacked this year. There's a lot of quality teams, or at least potential for some teams. All right, go ahead. My bad.
I was going to say the Sunday night game. I don't want to waste too much time on.
No, this should not be a Sunday Night Football matchup for Week 1. Like the schedule's great. Like looking at the schedule, like there's a lot of great games. You could have put any of the 425 games on at 820, and I'd have been happier than this game because this is a blowout. Let's be honest. Like
I think the Rams are one of the best teams in football. I think they're going to finish as the 2 seed in the NFC. Sneak peek, they're going to be one of my Super Bowl teams. Predictions going into the year.
And if Fields played, even if it still was the Bears, I would have taken watching Fields at 820. Then I would have been a little bit excited for this matchup. Dalton just doesn't do for us. Like it is what it is. And apparently the plan is like we were talking about Garoppolo. I'm pretty sure Dalton's going to play almost all this year unless there's an injury or he's just straight up terrible.
Which I think he might be because they don't have the offensive firepower.
To be fair to Dalton, this is a very tough matchup. The Bears' offensive line is bottom 5 in the league. It's not good, and you're going.
David Montgomery's not going to run the ball well, and even if you target Allen Robinson a million times, if you take out, I think Jalen Ramsey has the potential to lock down Robinson, especially with Andy Dalton's accuracy.
They didn't last year for some reason. So.
But I don't see any way for the Bears to win this game.
Neither do I, unless Stafford went down or something like that. That would be like the only possible. Even then, I still think the Rams would probably hold on. But
we're not predicting a Stafford injury Week 1. So
I'm hoping for. I'm a big Stafford fan. I'm hoping for a really good year and healthy and just big.
Yeah, I want him to be successful. I feel bad for his first, half of his career in Detroit. So I don't even want to waste time on it.
Let's wrap up. We'll get to our season prediction. And this is kind of an interesting game. Ravens at Raiders. You guys know I've kind of trashed Raiders like repeatedly, but I will say, and I'll give them credit where it's due. They usually kick off a season very well. Whatever it is for the first couple of weeks, they come in like prepared.
When they surprised Kansas City?
Yep, and they beat the Saints last year, and this has been happening for a couple of years where they whatever Gruden does in the offseason, it does work. Like they come prepared, they look good, and then for whatever reason, the defense falls apart and the offense. But we're back to Week 1 this year, and the Raiders have a ton of pressure on them. Like between Mayock, I don't think Gruden will be fired, even though I said he should have been fired like 2 years ago.
The report came out that if they played bad, it would be Mayock fired and Gruden stays.
That's a scapegoat. You get rid of everyone because Gruden just as involved, if not more involved, than Mayock.
Yeah.
But there's legitimate pressure now on the Raiders. I understand the AFC is very tough. Their division only got better this offseason, but at the same point, it's like there was a list that came out the other day of like the last 3 draft classes for the Raiders, and with all the picks in like the top 50, I think there was a bust rate of almost all of them. I don't know if you've seen that. Like it was like Damon Arnett, even Cleveland Farrell, like 4th overall.
Yeah.
Just the whole.
They just released the other day, former 3rd round pick.
Yeah.
Last year, or the year before.
Tanner Muse. He didn't play a snap for them. That's been happening. Like it just. So I'm gonna go Ravens here. I know the Ravens are banged up. This is actually interesting because I could definitely the Raiders for whatever reason play really well early in the year, so I'm never gonna count them out. I think this game will be closer than people expect. I got a funny feeling this game's going to come down to 1 score. I think this is actually going to be a good Monday Night Football matchup. But I'm going to go Ravens, even though they're kind of banged up. Everyone knows Week 1, Sammy Watkins week, no matter what team he's on. So, like, this is it. He's definitely going for 100 yards and like 2 touchdowns.
He's the only receiving threat besides Mark Andrews that's there right now. No
I think
J.K. Dobbins.
Hollywood's back, and Dobbins is gone, so probably be a lot of Gus, Lamar running.
Le'Veon Bell's still on the practice squad because they said he's still not in game shape. So I don't understand how you're a free agent.
He's not doing anything this year with the Ravens anyway. So
I just don't understand how you're a free agent, right? You openly say that you want to play football, you want to play for a contender, all that. So by the time you sign with a team, why are you not in game shape and ready?
I don't know. I can't answer that. He hasn't been good in a couple of years, and I think it's over for Bell.
And then it's the same thing.
I don't like his fit with Baltimore either.
Yeah, I don't like it either.
But
anyway, and Lamar too. Everybody's saying, "Oh, I feel like we hear it every year. Nobody gives this guy credit." Oh,
he
we
wins
figured
games.
out Lamar.
No.
Remember what do you say about that quote? It was like, "Do you think the league figured you out now, or whatever?"
Yeah.
And then he was like, "I really doubt it."
Yeah.
I highly doubt it.
It's just really stupid stuff. Like you just can't. Like, Lamar's a great player. He wins games.
Keep fueling him though. I'm here for it. Keep fueling him.
I kind of wish Bateman was playing. Like I know he's missing the first couple of weeks. I do want to see him like actually throw the ball. I think he can. Like I know I'm not saying he's Tom Brady throwing the ball, but like he's definitely better than people give him credit for. And
his whole career in Baltimore, they have not given him true receiving threats though.
It's been terrible.
They have not.
Even Hollywood Brown, you can fight me, whatever. He's not been that good.
They should have traded for Julio.
A lot of Ravens fans wanted that. I would like to see that too. But I'm not gonna lie, I am excited to see him with AJ Brown, like in Tennessee. Selfishly.
No, I know. I get it. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying for Lamar's sake.
Absolutely. All right, so that wraps up a good week one's gonna be fun. There's a lot of good matchups here. You could basically turn on the TV Sunday and watch any of these matchups in red zone. I think you're gonna be pretty happy. And hopefully the game tonight goes pretty well. Like I said, the only game I'm not really looking forward to is kind of the Bears and Rams, but football is back. We're not going to complain. I'm glad to be getting all these matchups. So let's go into our kind of predictions, the award predictions.
To finish it off.
So MVP, I think you gave us, right? You said Pat Mahomes.
Mahomes.
All right. So I also have Pat Mahomes, but I will change it since I don't want to both be boring. Both have Pat Mahomes. It's definitely possible. The offensive line's back. There's a good chance you could throw for close to or 50 plus touchdowns. Who else would I have? Rodgers, Josh Allen. Screw. I'm gonna go Herbert. I know you kind of alluded to it. I know they usually
see 40 touchdowns. It's just a matter of the team's win total.
Yeah,
I think his numbers will be there.
I think even if they got 10 wins, 11, I think if they get to the playoffs, and I think that's a big jump. And if he can steal a game for Mahomes, like if they could beat them once and he can outplace him, that could do it. And I don't know. I'll go Herbert. It's kind of a bold one, but. All right, so give us your defensive player of the year.
I don't want to be basic because Aaron Donald wins it every year.
It's a good bet.
So it's a good bet. You should probably bet on that. I'll go TJ Watt.
That's funny because I wasn't going to go.
I think prove a year, right? He's the only one I love on that defensive line right now. And
you're hating a little bit on that. That defense line is still top 5 for me. It really is.
And I know now there's this new situation where they're not extending him.
Yeah, it's really weird. They should just give him like Big Ben said yesterday, give him whatever he wants. Like that's the right answer.
Yeah, so I'll go TJ Watt. I don't want to be basic with Aaron Donald. If you're a betting man, bet Aaron Donald, but I'll go TJ Watt.
So I'm gonna take the same path. If I had to actually bet on it, I'd put Donald, but we're gonna have fun here. Like screw that. Like we know what Aaron Donald is. Probably the best. He's probably gonna be the best defensive player of our generation that we'll probably ever watch. I'm gonna go Myles Garrett.
I like that.
So spoiler alert. No, I'll leave it. But so Myles Garrett, I'll go defensive player of the year, and I'm gonna have him with like 18 to 20 sacks in that range. Really, very high number.
Yeah,
so.
if he gets that, that's a lock. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that pick because again, one of the best rosters. I think the game script's going to be there for him because I think a lot of teams are going to have to be throwing against the Browns.
Yep.
So actually, I kind of like that one TJ Watt pick. I like that.
All right. So give us your who?
Coach.
Oh, this is a tough one. So it's going to be a team who drastically improved and goes to the playoffs.
You have to go Shanahan.
Shanahan, yeah.
Yeah, you have to go Shanahan. All right, what's next?
I mean, Bill Belichick maybe. They never gave it to him, but like if the Patriots made the playoffs, I could definitely see him being in the top 3 contention. And I do think the Patriots should come back to the playoffs.
Let me say this. Comeback player of the year, I'm going Jameis Winston.
I'm going Dak Prescott. and by like
That's probably a better bet. I just need to be biased. I need to show the Saints some kind of love.
nah, it's good. I want to throw out like all the
Yeah, I
Dak's
need to
my
go
guy
Jameis.
forever. Dak got a lot of hate for some reason over the years.
Yeah, if Dak makes the playoffs with the Cowboys, he's probably going to win it. But I think the same could be said if the Saints make the playoffs with Jameis.
Yeah. All right, that's fun. All right, give us your offensive player of the year.
Ooh, offensive player.
Yeah, so Derrick Henry won it last year.
Yeah. Offensive player of the year. Now, this is big because we have that extra game.
Yeah.
So all receiver stats are going to be elevated. Running back stats are going to be elevated. It's obviously not the MVP award. Offensive player of the year. Let's go with. Give me Alvin Kamara. You take away his number 2 running back, right? We've never seen Kamara with a workload like 20 carries. He just doesn't get 20 carries a game. He gets 20 touches a game with the catches. Never gets 20 carries a game. I think we're going to see a lot of games where he does get the 20 carries a game.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we're going to see a lot more rushing numbers for Kamara. I think we're going to see a lot more passing because no Michael Thomas the first few months. So with the extra game included, inflated stats, I'm going to go Kamara.
This is a really tough question. I don't think Henry's gonna get
because it could be so many different players. It could be so many.
I'm also leaning toward kind of a running back. Like my mindset because like if Josh Allen didn't win it last year, I don't know what would take to. I mean, I don't know how often. I think McCaffrey got it the year before, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So it kind of seems like this is kind of geared instead of giving MVPs like serious consideration for running backs. This is kind of their kind of award. I almost want to say McCaffrey again because Darnold's literally going to check it down forever. But
I also think there's so many options on that offense that it just takes numbers away.
It's boring. I'm not going to go McCaffrey because that's like the boring answer. He's probably favorited. Screw it. I'm going to go CD Lamb and just say screw it.
Okay.
He kind of reminds me of like when Ridley broke out last year and Godwin the year before. Even though they never won the award, this kind of seems like, and all training camp we've been hearing the hype. Dak's back. The only thing is like they have a lot of weapons to throw to, but I do think Lamb kind of emerges as that number 1 or 2 receiver down there, and it would not shock me if he puts up like 1,500 to 1,600 yards. Maybe that's not enough, but I think you're going to see like he should be in consideration at least.
All right, cool. I like that.
All right, so give us your defensive rookie of the year.
Defensive rookie of the year.
I'm going to stick in Dallas. I'm going to go Parsons, even though I hated on him during the draft class.
Really? Yeah, I was about to say you hated on him during the process.
Yeah, listen, I'm never like I'm never stuck in my ways. Like if I see someone playing really well, like even though I didn't like him, like I'm not going to just hate on him because I didn't like him in the draft process. But part of the reason why I didn't like him was also because of like the character concerns. But he looked incredible in the preseason. Looks
like he loves football and Hard Knocks.
Realistically he should be starting. Jalen Smith and Van Der Esch are just they're on their way out after this year, and I have Dallas making the playoffs. You know this, so I don't know. I didn't say Super Bowl. I said playoffs. So I think that's enough.
Dallas. Yeah, and look, I think he's going to have the tackle numbers to hit that award. A few sacks maybe, as long as he's getting the starts. That probably would have been my pick because you picked it. I think it's only between 1 or 2 guys. So if you go that, I'm going to go Patrick Surtain. We saw him with the pick 6 in the preseason. I think with that defensive line pressuring the quarterback, I think with the other guys around him in the secondary closing down their side of the field and their assignments, it just opens up opportunity for him to excel. So I'll go Patrick Surtain. Few interceptions, few pick 6s, maybe a few fumble recoveries.
No, what happened to your Carolina defense? J.C. Horn, not in consideration.
I love my Carolina defense. I'm just saying, numbers wise, I think J.C. Horn's more of the kind of corner where instead of the interceptions, it'll be more like, let's say it's like the Revis effect, right? So you remember the years where Revis didn't have a million interceptions, and it was like, of course, he's still the best corner in football. He just doesn't have a lot of interceptions because the quarterback just didn't throw to his side of the field.
Like once a game,
right?
That,
so. So I'm not saying it's going to be Darrelle Revis or people won't target against him. They will. I just think to win the award numbers wise, I think Patrick Surtain will just have better, more interceptions and stuff like that. I think J.C. Horn might have more like pass breakups or just,
it'll be corner is one
complete against him.
One of the sides quarterback. That's the toughest, I think, position to transition to because like I thought Akuda was gonna be really good last year and he got like worked like badly. So
yeah.
But then again, I guess there was no pass rush to help either. But yeah, depending on where you go, that's a good pick. Someone actually.
Last one.
Yeah. Offensive rookie of the year. I want you to go first because I almost don't want to pick my guy, so I kind of want to give it to you.
I think I know who you're going to pick.
Well, let me hear who
Is
you're
that
going to pick.
fair to assume that? See, I really want to pick Zach Wilson. I just don't know if
I want you to take him, so I don't have to take him.
See, but I'm not going to take him because I don't think the Jets are going to win enough games to do that. Because I really think since Mac Jones is going to play all the season now, because before we knew Cam Newton was going to play for a while, I'm going to go Mac Jones. I think he'll have the numbers. I think the team will have the win total. They'll make the playoffs. I think it's going to be hard not to give it to Mac Jones.
Yeah.
In that scenario. It's just not Zach Wilson. Otherwise, it would be Zach Wilson. If Zach Wilson was wearing a Patriots uniform, it would be Zach Wilson.
Yeah. I almost don't want to go him. I don't want to jinx him or anything. That's why I wanted to take him. But that makes sense. Like I also have the Patriots making the playoffs. I think they're a very good team. And at this point, it seems like I think I said during beginning of the show, I think it's a 3-man kind of battle. And then if you want to throw in Najee too, even though Justin Jefferson had like 1,500 yards last year, he didn't even get a vote or something. So like it's very hard to win as a player award. It's just really a quarterback award. And it doesn't seem like Trey Lance and Justin Fields, unless something drastically changes, are realistically going to play enough this year to be in consideration. But since you took Mac Jones,
just do it. You have to.
Yeah, I'm just going to do it because I'm not taking Trevor. So I'll take
You
Zach.
haven't picked one. Yeah, you haven't picked one Jet. I already picked 2 Saints for awards. You have to pick one Jet.
Yeah, but Jets aren't supposed to get awards unless not yet anyway. We're usually like last place award. Yeah, I'm gonna go Zach. I do think like what you're saying, it makes sense. I do think Jets are gonna finish even before with Carl Lawson. I have the Jets still finishing last in the division. But it's not really all about that. Like if you put up good stats and have good games, you'll get recognized. Justin Herbert had like 6 or 7 wins last year, still won the award. And so yeah, I'll go Zach Wilson. Just hope he kind of like I'll take like 80% of what Herbert looked like last year, and I'll be a happy man. So. But it would not shock me if Trevor Lawrence won either. That maybe Jacksonville win an extra game than we do, or I don't know. It'll be interesting, but I'll go Zach. Why not? It'll be fun.
All right, does that wrap up week 1?
Yeah, that wraps up week 1.
All right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. Hopefully we can get consistent episodes out. I know we wanted to do like some fantasy episodes, didn't happen. I know Markello's not here with us today. He started a new full-time job, so he's always busy. So hopefully we can find a time during the season to get all 3 of us back on consistently. That would be good.
We definitely will. So,
all right.
We won't miss. Last year we missed 1 week of the season, like only one, like even throughout the playoffs. This week I'll guarantee this year we won't miss a week.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you guys for joining us.
Happy week 1.
Go Jets. Jets by 40.
Jets by 40.